Okay, so just started recording. Welcome to this community call. Federico is not available today for the community call. He's attending to a conference at Harvard about DAOs, and it seems that it was a great conference with lots of people very influential in the blockchain governance world, and also lots of people that have been thinking about organizations in the internet and how blockchains can change organizations. So some of the speakers were people invited to our podcast. So I'll share some of the podcasts that we had with them. And well, Federico mentioned that it was a super productive conference, and also Jamila was there. And well, one of the updates that we have is that Marcos is joining us full-time officially. So congratulations, Marcos.
Thank you very much. And Juan too. Juan is joining as a permanent member of the Kleros team, so yeah, very happy.
It's good that you have someone from Argentina taking care of the business dev in the region, because we already have a lot of presidents here, but to get an integration, it actually takes some work. So it's great to have.
Always useful to help position Kleros in Argentina and in all that comes. So yeah, I'll be working on that.
Yeah, and as Federico mentioned before, it's great to have a great soccer player in the team. So that's a benefit. So
that's the most important thing, of course. Always that's the most important.
Yeah, reinforcement for the season. So yeah, and about the integrations and new platforms. Tomorrow we'll have the demo day. We'll have the three teams that are on the third cohort of the incubator joining us: Talent Layer, Lenstax, and the Badge. And also three teams from the previous cohorts: OpenVino, that is OpenVino, UBI, and Prove Us Wrong. And well, I'm very excited for it. Talent Layer just launched their protocol on mainnet, and you can claim an ID on Talent Layer. I believe it's a good idea to do so, while you can pick your username freely, because that's usually gets people that come first get the best usernames. And you, with this ID, you will be able to aggregate a reputation for job markets. And so it's definitely an interesting project, and they're already launched with I believe 3 or 4 integrations on the pipeline. I don't know if they are live yet, but it's almost there. And I really like the team. They have been participating on hackathons, and they are very constant on the very productive. Let's say they have great things. So Talent Layer and Lenstax, which is a project that are people that are I know from Argentina. They are building a platform for kind of bookmarking. I forgot the exact name of it, but it's basically saving content that is built on top of Lens protocol. And Lens protocol, of course, it's a protocol that has been getting a lot of attention in the Web3 world because it's a way of making Web3 an application that is social over Web3. And well, there's also the badge. Looks like there's a co-founder here in the call. So Fede, if you want to give a brief introduction about what the badge is, I don't know if you would like to talk.
Yeah, sure. I wasn't prepared to the little pitch, but sure. It's always a pleasure to talk about the badge. But what we try to accomplish is to set the basis on data certification in the blockchain. So we want to be the protocol that allow the people to do that. And the best is that everyone is allowed to create a certification strategy. So that is, at least for me, the most interesting part, because we can have people from all over the world creating strategies and putting all of the knowledge that we have certificating data on Web2 world, but everything centralized. We can move up all of that knowledge to the Web3, and everyone can be a shooter, or as we call it, curator of that information, and raise a challenge if it's something is wrong. And well, at the end will be resolved to a Kleros court. So it's everything decentralized from the beginning until the end.
That's great. That's also something that it is a little bit related to some William research. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but William made a talk about SPTs and how it can be used on Kleros courts to improve the juror selection and the mathematics around it. So well, that's great to have like a project like the badge and the Kleros ecosystem. It's something I believe that lots of projects can benefit from that. And
yeah, sure.
You had a call with our BizDev team today, right? Not sure if there's something you can share about it. But
I wasn't able to join that call today in the morning. I wasn't available in that time, but all other the guys from the team was there, Agu and the CTO Nico. So yeah, I can't say too much about the meeting, but I know that was productive because of the feedback.
That's great. Yeah, it's nice that in the end we, like, our BizDev team ends up being doing BizDev for the incubator teams as well. So there's synergy there. So well, William, if you have something to share.
Yeah, I mean, I've been working on some of the same things I mentioned that I was working on last week. I'm thinking a lot about kind of some of the research we've been doing on social choice theory. So like how to have good voting systems when you have lots of different non-binary choices. In particular, I'm writing a blog article about a specific special case where you have discrete options, but they're all sort of numbers. So in the yellow paper, I discuss in great length this sort of voting systems that we think about using for V2. When you have discrete non-binary choices, they're kind of abstract and don't have like any specific kind of structure to them. You know, I described like various voting systems and trade-offs about them and like different things that we think about when we're trying to choose a V2 voting system. But the thing about V2 is that it's going to be very modular. So the different courts can use different voting systems. And you can have potentially multiple modules that plug into this that are adapted to the kinds of cases in that court. So when V2 launches, the plan is to be for basically like the sort of current voting system will be already, you know, like simple plurality voting. We'll launch as sort of like an initial module and then like these new better social choice theory inspired voting systems will be gradually launched as they become available. So we're preparing for that. As I said, I'm writing a blog article about this specific special case when you have non-binary numerical options, as that is a natural case that occurs, that you have a lot of simplifications over the stuff in the yellow paper. If you imagine sort of situations where, like Alice is a small business owner and Bob is a freelancer, maybe you have like options to the jurors that are pay Bob the full amount, pay Bob nothing, and like intermediate options that are like pay Bob 50% or pay Bob 30%. So there's this like intrinsic numerical structure to the options, because you can think about like 50% as being bigger in some sense than the 30% option.
That's great. That's creates a lot, like lots of things to think about it. So, Abir, you have been to the conference at Hong Kong, right? WoW Summit. I don't know if you have anything to share.
Well,
about
there's been quite a few. There was FOMO Asia, around 3 weeks ago. Actually, no, 2 weeks ago. Then there was the WoW Summit last week. I've got a quiet week right now, and then there's the Hong Kong Web3 Festival happening next week, and immediately after that, I will be giving a talk at the DAO Hong Kong conference on April 16th. It's going to be on-chain dispute resolution processes in DAOs. Immediately after that, I will be having a panel discussion with Sophia Kossar, who authored the Proof of Humanity report. So the organizers kindly asked me if I wouldn't mind being on a panel with her to discuss her Proof of Humanity findings, and obviously, perhaps bring the discussion to what a more realistic assessment of the whole issue would be, and perhaps give some relevant insights for the Hong Kong Web3 community. So let's see how that works out.
That's interesting. Like, it will be a virtual participation?
No, it's going to be in person. So it's going to be here in Hong Kong. But I don't know if they're going to be video taping it or not. If they do, I'll be sure to let you know.
Yes, take some photos of the event.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. Well, I don't know if there's anything else that we can add. I know that. You have something, Marcos?
Yeah, on the side of the BD team, just an update. We have 124 commit partners in Kleros. What means in 18 new partners by this year. And then, as an update, we have been talking with some projects. Some of them, one is Excapit, that is a wallet from Argentina. They want to use our dispute resolution system. And then we are in touch with a University of Argentina, Australia University, where we are going to we're going to do a workshop for the students in the second semester. So yeah, those are some of our updates.
Great. So another thing about P2 and VIA, JB is not here, but can share a little bit about what the team has been working on. They are working on the basically the transaction viewer of what's going on VIA for when it goes live, so people can analyze that. And there's a lot of work that's been done on VIA and the infrastructure for V2. lots of background improvements that may not be noticeable otherwise, and things that that change from V1 completely, that must be done from scratch, and that's one of the reasons that that there might not be something noticeable to share, because it's basically lots of work that needs to be done, and well, it will have like a great impact moving forward. As the time passes, like there's always new technologies that can be adopted and make the platform be more optimal. And yes, I think there's an NFT project that I believe there's that I've mentioned before, Tired Cat Cabal. They are rewarding jurors. They had just announced that they have a launch date in the coming months, and well, you will hear more from me. I'll be sharing this on the chat group. Yeah, that's basically it for me. So if anyone has any questions. I'll share the link for the demo day tomorrow. I believe that the badge team was asking me, so I'll share it very soon. Good. So thanks everyone for joining. See you tomorrow.
Everybody.
You guys.
Bye everyone. See you.